Hey guys, what's up? Doing a 2021 NBA Finals preview. In this series, we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Phoenix Suns. Two fantastic teams. First thing, obviously, I want to say is we have two well-deserving teams here in the NBA Finals. There's been a lot of talk about the injuries this postseason, which is valid. You want to see the best stars playing, but at the end of the day, you still have to show up and win. And these two teams have done that. They've persevered all season, especially the Phoenix Suns. They've done it all season. They've been playing their best basketball. They've been consistent. There's some other teams who maybe weren't consistent as much as them, but they fought through it. They've had their own injuries. Both teams. Bucks were without Giannis Antetokounmpo for two games in the conference finals, and they managed to win both convincingly. Um, the Suns have had a lot of different COVID protocols, especially with Chris Paul. They've managed through it. So really, you can't take anything from these two teams. They deserve to be here, and I think it's a fitting NBA Finals. Um, so just to get a little bit into it, first of all, I do want to congratulate both of these teams and their fan bases. They really deserve it. It's really nice to see new faces in the NBA Finals. I know we all love to see the LeBron James, KD's, Steph Curry's, Kawhi Leonard's of the world in the finals, but sometimes you need some fresh blood, and to have a Hall of Famer, an all-time great like Chris Paul, looking for his NBA first NBA title, fighting two-time MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. It's a fun matchup. These two teams played two amazing games in the regular season. I managed to catch the second one. I think it was like a Tuesday night on NBA TV. Didn't think much of it at the time. I thought it was just two good teams playing, but I didn't. I did notice how amazing the fourth quarter and overtime was. Both teams were hitting great shots. It was a fun matchup. Both regular season games came down to a total of 2 points, with the Suns winning both games by 1 point each. So it's two evenly matched close teams. So the first thing I'm going to get to here is obviously the biggest storyline heading into this NBA Finals in Game One tonight, Tuesday, July 6th here, is the health of Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is the two-time MVP we're talking about. Everything that's going to happen in this series is going to be about his availability. As of right now, 1:15 p.m. Central Time, he was just moved from doubtful for Game One tonight to questionable. I am going to base this podcast off of him being not available tonight. I think the Suns are going to work him out as we get to closer to game time here, but I do think eventually he's going to be ruled out tonight, which honestly I think is the smart move. I think the Bucks will want to see if they can give him a few more days to rest up that left knee and see what Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez and the gang can do here in Phoenix. Extremely tough, as we know. The Suns at home this postseason are 6-2. I believe that's the second best home record this postseason, after of course the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's going to be an extremely tough game, but I do think Giannis won't play, so I'm going to base that off this podcast here. I do think Giannis will come back, either game two or game three. If I was Phoenix, I would push for game three. It would give him close to about 2 weeks. It would be Sunday here, game three in at Fiserv Forum. It'd give him, close to 2 weeks of rest on that left knee, and I think he'd be good enough to come back. But again, it wouldn't shock me if he played tonight in game one or Thursday night in game two. So the way I want to base off this preview is I'll just kind of go through each team on both sides of the ball. So I'll start with when the Suns have the ball. The Suns team has been amazing this postseason. I don't want to hear anything about the injuries they've played. They've played great basketball. They have emerging stars in Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. One of my favorite players in the NBA, Mikal Bridges. Loved him at Villanova. Love him now in Phoenix. And then obviously Chris Paul, the director of the show. They have great coaching in Monty Williams, great wing depth, great bench options in Cam Johnson and Cam Payne. So this is a well all-around team. And when Phoenix does have the ball, the thing I'm going to be looking for really is how Chris Paul and Devin Booker are going to operate in the pick and roll. This team has been really efficient in the pick and roll, and really in that mid-range game. They've used DeAndre Ayton as a roller a lot, and recently have even gotten him more post touches here because as we've seen, Aiden has really come around this postseason. I'm going to be looking to see what Ayton does as a roller. He's going to be matched up against Brook Lopez, who's a very solid defender in his own right. And that's going to be a really interesting matchup. While I was going through the matchup stats, it looked like DeAndre Ayton had his way with Brook Lopez in the regular season matchup. And so that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Another thing I'm going to be watching really is how efficient Paul and Booker are in that mid-range game. We all know they love to use it. It's their bread and butter, especially Chris Paul. I always notice when the game's getting tough, he just kind of goes to it and gets himself a few quick buckets. It's how he rolls, so that's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting how to see how the Bucks play that pick and roll. I'm going to be looking out for Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder as cutters. One of Phoenix Suns' patented moves is to really find those two as they cut. It's really down to how good passers Paul and Booker are. We all know about Chris Paul and how amazing the passer is, but I really think Booker has really found himself this postseason, facilitating a lot. The two games that Chris Paul was out against the LA Clippers, game one and game two, Booker really facilitated that offense. He was moving the ball. He was finding cutters. He was finding um, 3-point shooters all around, and he's really coming to his own. So I'm going to be looking, especially Bridges, to get him going. I think Bridges is going to be one of the big key factors for the Suns in this series. As we move on here, I'm going to be also looking for especially Jay Crowder in the corner for his threes. The Bucks do allow the least corner threes in the NBA this postseason, while the Suns, that's kind of one of their bread and butters, finding those shooters on the corners. So it's going to be kind of like a matchup thing, which team can really get their side of the ball going, especially the Suns getting those corner threes. I'm also going to be looking at Cameron Payne and Cam Johnson off the bench for the Suns. Those two have been having really amazing playoffs. I know Cam Payne had, I think it was like an ankle issue against the Clippers in game 3 or 4. But he looked really well as the series kept going. I think game 6, I thought he looked back to his best. The Suns are going to need him on transition. They're going to need him putting speed against Drew Holiday, against Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, whoever it is. They're going to need him attacking the rim because the Bucks defense is very well structured. So they're just going to need a different angle to play against kind of the slow pace that Chris Paul plays with. So when the Bucks have the ball, and again, I'm going to be assuming that Giannis is out. A couple things I'm going to be looking for is Drew Holiday as the ball handler. One of the big talking points before this season is the Bucks trading for Drew Holiday, and really how much of a difference maker would he be in the postseason after Eric Bledsoe really had some disappointing playoff runs. And I personally think Drew Holiday has been amazing this postseason. He hasn't shot the ball as well as you would think, especially from three-point land, but he's been very balanced. He's been playmaking at a high level. He's been making key plays at key moments, especially against Brooklyn, and then the last 2 games without Giannis against Atlanta in the conference finals, he really stepped up. So I'm going to be seeing how he does as the ball handler. The Suns are going to have some wing defenders to throw at him. Paul, I believe, he's kind of an underrated defender. You know, he still gets caught up, especially off ball, but as an on ball defender, he's really come on strong this postseason, this year in general. So they're going to have some keys to throw at him, and I want to see Drew really start facilitating. He's had some weird games this postseason. Will have more turnovers than assists, but I want to see really like if he can get this offense going, especially if Giannis is out. And then Chris Middleton, he's having a great postseason run as well. His shooting numbers have been on and off, but he's really been playing well all around ball. But for me, it's going to be coming down to shooting, especially without Giannis here. He has to be efficient. He has to pick his spots well. The Suns, again, have really good wing defenders in Bridges, Crowder, Johnson, even Torrey Craig to throw at him. He has to pick his spots. He has to start shooting off ball well. I really think he needs to find himself, especially off ball. Drew has to be finding him, and then running that low pass pick and roll and getting some pick and pop options for both of them would be going to be important. If Giannis also is out, Brook Lopez down low has been really interesting coaching, kind of like rehab by Mike Budenholzer. Brooke Lopez has really stepped up here without Giannis. I think he's more comfortable. He knows when to pick his spots. He's not really just standing out in 3 point land. He was able to take it down low. Him and Drew Holiday destroyed the Hawks the last two games just off of their pick and roll. Obviously, you're going from playing, like a Capella and a John Collins who are solid defenders, but not DeAndre Ayton, and they don't offer his mobility and really just his all around athleticism. So I really want to see what Brook Lopez can do down low. He's a decent passer as well. He can kick the ball out, find their shooters. PJ Tucker, not really like an offensive piece for the Bucks, but one thing he's been really doing well this postseason is grabbing offensive rebounds. So he's going to be continue to really like jump for the rebounds if he's not offering a shooting threat in that specific possession. And he's been doing a really well job of getting new possessions and more possessions for the Bucks. Now I'll switch over to the defensive end. When the Suns are on defense, the biggest thing I'm going to look at, especially early on, and again, I'm assuming Giannis is out, is who are Paul and Booker going to guard? Um, Obviously, they're both, I would say, good defenders. Some limitations for both against, especially a bigger backcourt that the Bucks present, with Holiday being what like 6'4", and then Middleton being a taller guard, 6'6", 6'7". Um, I think the Suns are gonna need to hide one of them on Tucker. I would definitely say Chris Paul, just because he's 36 now. Not really the energy that Booker will have as a younger player. So it'll be interesting to see who they decide to throw on Middleton or Holiday if Booker and Paul is not on one of them. If Giannis is out, it's going to give them a lot more flexibility because Bobby Portis, as good as he's been and solid he's been, he's not Giannis. So I'm going to be interested to see if they just let Middleton have Bridges and kind of let DeAndre Ayton kind of play around and like focus on who he can like double or who he can try to like play off of. Um, but Ayton will also have to guard Lopez down low. And Ayton has done really solid. He's been one of the best rim protectors this postseason. But Lopez does offer a little bit more than any other center he's played. Really, this postseason, other than Jokic, obviously, and he did a really good job on Jokic. So I think Lopez is going to be an interesting matchup without Giannis as well, given how much the Bucks can spread around their 3 point shooters. Uh, Another good thing is going to be just how much physicality can the Suns keep up with the Bucks, because what the Bucks are known for is playing physical. They have guys like Holiday, Tucker, Giannis, Lopez that are all just really tough physical players who are also great rebounders. Suns, they did struggle here and there against the Clippers in rebounding. They were letting Beverly and Paul George, grab double-digit rebounds a couple of games there. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they can really get up there, grab those boards. Ayton, he should theoretically be grabbing and hobbling up a lot of boards, especially if Giannis isn't out there. When the Bucks are on defense, I'm going to be looking to see who Drew Holiday is on. Obviously, he's a very great defender. I think this series will be much easier for him than going against a Trey Young, just because of how quick and shifty Young is. Where Paul, he's kind of a more slower pace. So I think Holiday is going to be really able to like find his rhythm here guarding one of these two. But obviously, these are still all-star players. Booker and Paul, they can find their matchups. They can hunt the weak links on the Bucks. Speaking of weak links, the Bucks have one of the better defensive lineups in the NBA. They don't really have a defensive weak link when Giannis is out there. When Giannis is not, obviously Bobby Portis is going to be the guy you want to lick your chops at and go at. So the biggest thing early on I'm going to be looking at is how the Bucks are going to be defending the pick and roll with Paul and Booker. Are they going to be playing drop coverage? Are they going to step up and switch Lopez, Willney, and Porter or Portis if Giannis is out? I want to see how they kind of play it. They'll probably decide to do both and just see which one they're having more success on. Maybe they want to put Tucker on Booker. So if they do a pick and roll, it'll be just one of either Holiday or Tucker or Middleton switching over, and not like a Lopez or a Portis. Um, do they help off of Paul or Booker and kind of leave Ayton? I really think Ayton is gonna he's gonna be another key X factor for the Bucks here, or for the Suns. because I do think he can really get a lot of alley oops. He did a lot against LA and Denver, especially. But I think that he's gonna have to like be aggressive, especially against an aggressive Bucks defense. Finally here, I'm gonna make a prediction. Again, this is extremely tough without Giannis, but if Giannis is not healthy, and he's like maybe out the first two games, and he when he comes back, he's not really fully healthy. I'm gonna go Suns in six. I think Suns are just deep. They really know what they're doing. They've been consistent all postseason long here. It just feels like their time, especially if Giannis is not fully healthy. Um, but I do think Bucks will take a couple games. They're a tough team. They're, I believe, think what 8-1 at home in the postseason or 7-1. So they're not gonna go without a fight. They're gonna play well. They're gonna attack their matchups. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday will continue to shine this postseason. Lopez will also have his time here. Bobby Portis, bench guys like Pat Connington. Bryn Forbes might have a hard time staying on this series, but I know for sure he's gonna have that game three, game four where he hits five threes and really turns around the game. Uh, if Giannis does come back and he's playing tonight in game one and he looks completely healthy, I think it's good enough for me to really say a Bucks and six prediction. If both teams were healthy, I honestly would pick the Bucks and Giannis because I do think Giannis is the best player of this series. He had really amazing numbers against the Bucks. They lost both against the Suns in the regular season. They did lose both games, but they were close enough where you can say one possession here or there could have changed the game. So if Giannis is healthy, I do think the Bucks' physicality is going to come through, and we might have to see how Suns' young stars respond in key moments here. They've done well this postseason. So overall, my prediction, just to stay that I made one prediction, I'm gonna go Suns in six. I just don't know what Giannis Antetokounmpo's health factor here, so I'm gonna stick with that safe prediction. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you do want to find me on YouTube, my name is Anime Fan OP 2016. Give me a shout, follow and subscribe as always. I'm going to be most likely doing kind of like a recap of maybe game one or game two or even game three here. This is going to be a fun series. I'm excited. Hopefully, Giannis is healthy, and let's get a good series here. Thank you guys so much.